Okay, Stefan, we're here on the Clavier booth, Nord Drum 3. Pretty cool new thing, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool new drum that we have out. Nord Drum 3P is what we're showing here right now. And as you see, the form factor of this is entirely new. We've integrated the pad, what used to be the Nord pad, into the main unit. So we have a Nord Drum which has everything you need right in one unit. So it's really easy, very lightweight, easy to carry under your arm to a gig or wherever you're going. It's don't need to worry about not having what you need with you. So that's really cool. We also improved the layout of the actual drum. Tweaking parameters is much easier now that you have a dedicated knobs on 2 rows for all the features. So it's or buttons, I should say. These are also of a new type that are softer, and this is mainly to make them work well for any accidental hits that would hit the bottom row.
So we've got 6 pads, and a kick input. Is there a hi-hat pedal input? Or?
No, there's one input on this model for either a kick, or you could use it as a trigger for some other sound. But of course the main use case would be using it together with a kick pedal. Like
so. We can hear that.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's got 7 sources, or does that replace one of the pads?
No, you got 6 sound sources, and they're distributed on these 6 pads. The kick will be the same as pad number 1, and that's where you would normally have your kick sound. Then you'll distribute the other sounds any way you want on the other pads.
So has there been any changes to the actual synthesis engine, or is it much the same?
Well, there have been additions, mainly to the effects section. We've added a delay, added a reverb built in, so you really get a new dimension to the drum sounds. The tone shaping, the sound creation is very similar to that of the Nord Drum 2, which means that if you already have or have used the Nord Drum 2, you're both familiar with how this works. Of course, some tweaks have been made, some parameters changed a little bit, but.
So the effects, I'm interested. Let me hear some of these effects. Have you got anything you could dial in?
Oh, sure, yeah. Let me just get these headphones on, and I'll try to demonstrate some of the effects. Okay, so we have this kick drum now, and this has already got some reverb on it. I can just make sure I'm editing the kick there. I can take a look at the reverb algorithm I'm using right now. It's a whole reverb. I can go to the reverb setting, and I can just set it to a higher value.
Epic. And who wouldn't want 10 seconds of reverb on a bass drum?
Yeah, I mean it's something you can go wild with it, or you could just give it a sense of room with it. In fact, with this sort of kick drum, just perhaps changing it to a room type of reverb.
Oh yeah, okay.
This really gives a sense of being in a drum room and playing. So it's.
And is it easy to globally have reverb effect sends across all pads at the same time?
You have the edit group setting, which lets you edit the whole set of pads. So I could go to the reverb again, and I could set the reverb level to something. Now and again, it's a really responsive drum. It really responds very well to dynamic playing. And
is that more levels than MIDI? I mean, is it more than 128?
Yeah, it's got a higher range than that internally. Then of course it has a MIDI implementation as well.
So we've still got left and right out.
Yeah.
There was no. I'm sure you're under a lot of pressure to add more outputs.
Yes, some people would want that, I'm sure. I think most musicians being on stage in most normal scenarios, the left and right output is the easiest and most straightforward way to do it. And the fact that you can edit the reverb or delay effects on each channel, you can set EQ per channel, etc.
Can you pan hard left and hard right, so you could have kick.
Yeah, you can. There's a pan parameter for. So now we're editing the entire group, but I could set the pan left or right.
And what about with the effects? The effects can mix the stereo, or can you pan the effects?
What was that?
Can you pan the effects left or right as well?
No, the effects will stay with the pan of that particular channel.
Okay,
so, yeah.
all right. So this is going to be available pretty soon, right?
Yeah, we're estimating June. Still an estimate. That's what we're looking for, and estimated price somewhere around 699 euros for this, which is less
with the pads as well.
Yeah, with the pads. So that's actually less than the combination of the Nord pad and the Nord Drum 2, which is a good thing.
And what about there's a brain-only version as well, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll have it on the wall here. This has 6 trigger inputs, so you can use the triggers of your choice with this brain. Otherwise, it's got the same features.
Okay. Well, there was one other question. The mounting, does it come as standard? So there's a plate on the bottom. So.
Well, it requires less hardware now. Actually, that is all in one unit. So you just need this sort of basic stand. You get the mount underneath. Which
does that come as standard with the unit, or is it an extra?
The stand does not come, but the mount comes.
The mount comes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and this is a easy to get stand. You know.
So are there any? Are you a drummer yourself?
I'm not much of a drummer myself. I like to tweak this. I like to play it, especially if you don't mind me just showing you some of the sort of melodic kits. Let's see. It should be in this bank, and just select a. And this is what's so unique about the Nord drum is that it's not using any samples at all. It's all virtual analog. So these sort of melodic patterns is something that's fun to play. You don't necessarily need to be a drummer to use it. Just being
it's like a pad interface for synthesis.
Yeah, that's something you could use it for as well. So it's a fun unit. And I think with this particular model, you really get all you need in one package.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.